action here. On August 13th, myself, Set, and Go went to the National Airforce Museum in Dayton, Ohio. Set had actually been here 7 years beforehand.
Which one were you talking about? It's a Fokker D-7, one of the deadliest airplanes in the skies of World War I. It's the German autogyro. It's pretty much the first helicopter ever made. It's Martin B-10.
The museum does have a lot to offer, and when you first walk in there, you really get a sense of just how big this place is and how much they have. I've had people, Set included, tell me that you can't really see the whole museum in one sitting. You have to go at least twice, because there is a lot of stuff here that you will miss the first time. This is the Mitsubishi A6M0.
This was probably the deadliest fighter of the Pacific War. It wasn't until we acquired one in the Aleutian Islands that we were able to build planes that could actually match it. Douglas SBD Dauntless Dive Bomber, one of the most successful dive bombers of World War II. This was the plane that sank the Japanese carriers Kagi and Kaga during the Battle of Midway. B-24 Liberator bomber. This was the most mass-produced bomber aircraft, at least in the United States during World War II. Even more than the B-17. .88mm Flak 36. This is a German anti-aircraft gun. Douglas C-47 Sky.
And the exhibits they have here range from the early days of aviation all the way up through the Cold War period, even to some of the more experimental, boundary-pushing aircraft. Is the presidential aircraft.
German buzz bomb. V-2 ballistic missile. I think this is probably one we captured. Messerschmitt Me-262, world's first jet fighter. You know, they say this thing probably could have won the war, but the only reason it wasn't introduced sooner was because of the engine. Yep. I mean, to this day, all the reproductions that are flying in the world do not have original engines. Here's what the engine looks like. Got the intake, compressor, combustion chamber. Soft. Here's what I came to see. This is a B-29 Superfortress called Boxcar. This was the plane that dropped the second atomic bomb on Nagasaki. It's fitted with some of the most powerful piston-powered aircraft engines ever made in the U.S. It's amazing the scale of this thing. When it came out, it was the biggest bomber of World War II. Largest and most advanced. Had the most powerful engines. It was the first aircraft to be pressurized, have electronic reversible pitch propellers. A lot of stuff you find on modern aircraft.
the bomb bay.
There's a walkthrough of a B-29. This would be where the bombardier would sit. Who knows? Pilot, co-pilot seats. Two enemies of the Korean War. Russian MiG-15, I should say, and the American F-86 Sabre. Pretty much these two planes were pretty much evenly matched. B-52 Fortress. Probably the most successful combat aircraft of all time. First flight was in 1952, and it's still being used.
Yeah, some of my favorite stuff there was actually World War II, seeing as how I'm kind of a big World War II history buff. And to see some of the history-making planes that I've only read about in books, including Boxcar, the B-29 they have there. It was really cool to see in person.
Yep. Right here we have the B-36 Peacemaker, the largest bomber ever produced in the United States. It had six piston engines and 4 jet engines, which gives rise to the phrase 6 turning, 4 burning. This is a B-50, which is a B-29 offshoot.
Alright, anyhow, I'm Action.
A lot of other improvements. B-58 Hustler, supersonic high altitude strategic bomber. There's the tail end of the B-36 again. B-57. AC-130 gunship. SR-71 Blackbird. Made by Lockheed Skunk Works. This thing was designed to fly higher and faster than anything ever made, and to this day, not one of them has ever been shot down. B-2 stealth bomber. I remember the first time I saw one of these was in an air show. I did a flyover, and it was unlike any other aircraft I'd ever seen. Very cool. There she is. Here's the flight deck. Turn that light off. North American XB-70 Valkyrie. It's designed as a high-altitude supersonics nuclear bomber designed to hit the Soviet Union. There's only 2 prototypes made. This one and one other one which crashed during a photo shoot. This is the last one in existence. I'm pretty sure this was the 707 that JFK used. C-130 cargo plane. Yep. I think they still do.
Your video camera.
Alright, just give me a sec here. Here's the cockpit. Unlike your standard 707, sort of. There's a cockpit of this one.
This is where the door was in the text. Toilets. this is where they fly the boat on. So Aunt Debbie can go in.
I believe this is a C-141. It's a jet cargo aircraft. Here's the flight deck.